Sonic Forces Overclocked is a fan-made expansion and sequel to Sonic Forces. Having played the base game for over 24 real-world hours, I feel very qualified to enjoy any successor. For full clarity before we begin this review, I look at all art equally. It doesn't matter if it's free, if it was sold for $500, for 50 or 50 cents. It doesn't matter if it was made by the CEO of the Netherworld or a beloved grandma. None of the criticisms expressed in this video should be taken as jabs at the developers. I'm just here to analyze the game. With that out of the way, what's been accomplished here is impressive enough. Overclocked contains fully voiced, well-drawn cutscenes with some dynamic and stunningly dramatic imagery. It features 8 new stages, most of which are remixes from Forces itself, a new boss fight, and a new rock song composed and performed uniquely for this expansion. But I'm not here to judge the effort or wow factor. I'm here to comment on the end result, the substance. And Overclocked is dreadfully lacking in substance. First up, let's hit the gameplay. The original Forces was a railroady game, there's no getting around that. That's one of the chief complaints levied at the title. I previously likened its restrictive nature to that of an endless runner, and argued, hey, it could be far worse. Overclocked is far worse. The majority of Overclocked's level design consists of suffocatingly straight paths, with the occasional branching shortcut. Said shortcuts don't require any skilled movement, unlike base Forces, just foreknowledge. For most of the gameplay, I was utterly zoned out, practically falling asleep in my chair. The expansion does try to explore certain mechanics with some depth, like the slide and rails, but it ultimately winds up feeling repetitive in the process, especially with the increased level runtime. I didn't even feel the need to S-rank the stages. S-ranking Sonic games is my thing, especially 3D ones. There's a thrill in learning a level's pathways and nuances intimately, to perform a speedy ballet of stunning precision. But that requires a relationship with the game design, and I don't want a relationship with Overclocked's game design. It feels like Forces but watered down, which is impressive given how watered down Forces could already feel. The story suffers from much the same issue. There are some places where it feels exactly like Forces writing, down to the adorably awful banter, but it's also extremely overindulgent. The characters in Overclocked are insanely verbose. They routinely take paragraphs to say what could have been said in just 2 lines. None of the characters really feel like characters, and both villains seem to have absolutely no idea what they're doing from start to finish. The pacing, personalities, and overall story on display are entirely unremarkable. And lastly, the new song is pretty bad, at least lyrically. Sonic's vocal themes have always been strikingly thematic and emotional. I could talk for hours about practically every single track, but Overclocked's lyrics are superficial, largely aimless, and shallow. It even references What I'm Made Of, which was a really bad call because it draws direct, unflattering comparison. There have been plenty of Sonic fanworks with rich writing, gorgeous visuals, great level design, and a fantastic understanding of the franchise's spirit. This is not one of them.